SNAP. Oh, snap. No. uh, SNAP. The SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or better known as food stamps. Um, I just thought I would talk about it, considering it's kind of been a topic recently. People talking about if the government, shut down, I don't get my SNAP benefits, I'm going to rob Walmart and all this stuff. Um, me and my family used SNAP in the past. We probably used it for years. I have other family that have used it for years. Um, it was a very helpful program, but there are definitely downsides to it. So I'm gonna jump right in. I have a family. When we were using it, I was a family of six. My wife and I, and then four kids. We probably got, I'm thinking like $1,000 a month back then. That was probably 10 years ago or so, maybe a little bit less. So that was a lot of money for groceries. It pretty much covered all of our groceries. We almost never needed to spend any of our own money on groceries. Now it wouldn't probably go as far, but like I said, it was a lot of money back then. Like we could pretty much get whatever we wanted to from the store, which I always thought was kind of messed up, considering, there's people that couldn't qualify for it. They had to watch, I had to buy off-brand this, they had to buy off-brand that. Well, we can't get that steak and we can't do this and that. When we were on SNAP, we could get whatever we wanted to food-wise. Like I said, we always had extra money, so you could buy filet mignon, and you could buy all the nice stuff that people who weren't on the program couldn't buy. Like I said, there was never a month when we were on SNAP that we didn't have extra money to spend on, nicer groceries than we probably should have been able to spend it on, considering it was taxpayer money. So, there's that. So one of the biggest things, I think, and it's being addressed now, but it's been a problem for a long time, being able to buy pretty much whatever you want with SNAP as far as food goes. There were some limits when we were using it. It was like certain prepackaged things. Like if it was packaged to be like a to-go thing that you could eat right there, a lot of times they wouldn't cover that. But that's about all. Like almost everything else they would cover. Candy, pop, the worst foods you can imagine. Foods that cost way more just because they were convenient. Like prepackaged food, like buying prepackaged meat and stuff that's already cut up, seasoned, cooked, it's frozen or something, for example. That is usually a lot more expensive than buying it raw. Like those things, you could buy all that stuff. There was really no limit on what you could buy. Like I said, unless it was to-go stuff like single serving, walk out the door and eat it. But so there's that. I guess I feel like if you're getting government money from the taxpayer, you're in a really bad situation. You probably shouldn't be able to go in there and just spend it on whatever you want. There should be strict rules on what you can spend it on, to avoid abuse of the system and to avoid the harm of the children and the families that are using it and buying really bad food for themselves, giving even more, obese and unhealthy. So most people that are on SNAP are also on Medicaid. I believe it's Medicaid or Medicare. It's either way. It's the income-based one, not the age-based one. So we were on that as well, right? So whenever we were on food stamps, we were always on health insurance, because you could usually keep the health insurance even after you lost the food stamps. That was like a higher tier. Like once, you made a certain amount of money, you lost food stamps. Once you made even more money, you lost health insurance. So not only are you subsidizing people's eating habits, bad eating habits, which is making them unhealthy, then you're giving them insurance, and then you're paying for their increased hospital bills because of their bad diets and health. So it's kind of silly. It's really bad. It's a really bad program. When you really sit down and think of it just based on that. Go to the store and buy whatever you want. Here's $1,000. You spend it on whatever you want food-wise. You could just buy $1,000 in pop if you wanted to. You get these people that are morbidly obese, very unhealthy, even if they're not obese, just the diet they're eating, super unhealthy. And they get all that money, and then like, oh crap, I feel horrible. I need to go to the hospital, and I need drugs, and I need long-term care for this and that disease. And guess who's paying for that? Taxpayer again. It's a terrible system. It needs locked down. You need to dictate what it can be purchased, and it has to be healthy foods. There's that. That's a big problem. Second problem, it incentivizes mediocrity. There really is no, when I was using it, my family was using it, there was no tapering. It was, you're on food stamps, and then pretty much you're off. Like there wasn't a big, okay, well you go to 7,000 a month to 800 a month, from 800 a month to 600 a month, and just gradually go. No, it was almost for us. It was from like $1,000 a month to nothing a month, like that, like snap your fingers. And just because we made like an extra $5,000 or $1,000 a year, just a little bit over that threshold of what qualifies, and your snap's gone. So you end up, let's say you make an extra $5,000 a year. Well, that money's all gone and extra, because I make an extra $5,000, but I just lost $12,000 a year. Think about that. We were getting around $1,000 a month in food. That's $12,000 a year. So my job, I got a better job, or I got overtime or something. I tried to better our family and get us off that stuff. So you get off of it, but you end up worse off than when you were on it, because you made just enough to get over, but you're still not making as much as you were because you lost $12,000 a year in food. Huge. So it actually incentivizes you to stay on the program, to purposefully make just under the limit so that you can keep your health insurance and you can keep your food. So that's another massive problem with the program. It's horrible. They have got to do a better job. If you're going to have the program, you have to keep people kind of uncomfortable in their situation and keep it to where when they do make more money, it does show a benefit. It isn't a harm to them. So maybe a tapering of benefits to where you make an extra $1,000 a year, you get a little bit less in benefits, but it evens out to where you're never actually being hurt by making more money. That's a key. And I feel like something that needs to happen. I don't know if it's changed since I was using it. I don't think it has. So that's a big thing. It disincentivizes progress and, the desire to better yourself. It just suppresses it. It's like, why not? Why not just make, let's say it's a family of 6. Why not just make under $50,000 a year? That way I get all the benefits. Why strive to go and get this job where I make $10,000 more? So I make 60. Well, guess what? You lost all your benefits. You lost health insurance. You lost your food. So when you look at the health insurance and the food benefits, if you lose those two, like I already told you, we were making $1,000 a month. We were getting $1,000 a month in food. And then you add the health insurance cost. Wow. Like that's hard to even calculate. You're talking thousands and thousands of dollars of money there just in health insurance. A good health insurance plan is what now? I think where I work now, it's like $400 and some a month. So we're paying what? 4 times 12, 48. So I'm paying $4,800 a year just in premiums, not to mention all the out-of-pocket expenses and all that. My employer's paying a good portion of the other, they're paying a lot of money too. So when you look at a health insurance plan, I mean, if you lose your health insurance with the government and you lose your food, you're losing a lot of money. It's a significant impact on your life. So why? Go out and get a better job? Why fight? Why work the extra 10 hours a week and suffer and be sad and miss out on time with your family just to make that extra money that's actually going to end up losing you money? Like it's crazy. So that's a huge problem with it as well. The third problem with it is it's the dependency, and it kind of rolls into number 2. But it's the dependency. It's if the government shuts down, for example, like we're dealing with right now, I don't get food. My family can't eat. That's huge. The fact that there's 40-some million people receiving SNAP benefits right now, that's massive. That's a huge deal. Imagine depending on the government for all of your income. Not that you even have a job with them, but you're just hoping they give me money. Please give me money to help me survive. It's very dangerous, and it's demoralizing, and it's kind of, in all honesty, it's kind of dehumanizing. Like, there's nothing better than an independent person, an independent family that can support themselves. And when you get locked into a program it almost traps you in just because of your own human nature. It traps you in there. It's demoralizing. I remember being at the store and getting, we 1st and 15th is when you generally get your benefits. You go to the store and you buy a lot of food. You buy enough for 2 weeks, usually until the 15th comes or whatever, right? So on the 1st, you go out, you get for a family of 6, it was like a family of 6, it was like a cart full or 2. We're talking about overflowing carts. And there was actually a person, there was 2 people that walked by us one time, we were shopping. And they're like, oh, looks like the welfare people are out. And it's like, like that made me so mad. Like I wanted to go say something so bad. Oh my God. Oh, just, I mean, wow. Like, just blood boiling mad. And I came in. Like I said, I didn't end up holding my tongue, but, whew, and the only thing that made me hold my tongue was, I was like, well, they're right. We are welfare people right now. Like, it's like, it's hard to get too mad because you're sitting there like, you're sitting like, F you, that's bullshit. But then it's like, well, you're not wrong. We are welfare people stocking up on welfare food. So it's kind of dehumanizing. It's a tough situation. And like I said, I can't. It helped us immensely. It helped me get through school. I, it really did help us a lot. But it is a very dangerous program. Many people never get out of it. I also had a cousin who used it. I'm a single mom, had a couple kids, and a problem with her relationship, and the man really wasn't in the picture, wasn't providing much money. So she was also going to school, and she used it the entire time she was in school. So she used it for years and years and years. And she eventually got off of it. And now she works a government job and gives back to the community that way, and has been very, very successful and driven and working hard. So it's not like she was some kind of a welfare queen or something. Like, she used it for quite some time, but she stopped when she finished her degree and everything, and she went out and worked, and she's been working since and paying back into the tax system, and she's been a productive person. But a lot of people don't do that. I don't have the numbers on me, but I'm sure there's a good portion of people that never get off of it. They're on it forever. The only way they may lose it if their kids grow up and they move out, and then it's harder to get. The more kids you have, the lower the threshold of income for eligibility. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easier to hit that threshold with more kids. So, there's people that stay on it forever, and they just get off of it when they're not allowed to be on it anymore. And like I said, it's a tough program, and I firmly believe that this kind of stuff, food benefits especially, these kinds of things should be handled by charities, by churches, by local groups, communities, through giving and other methods, right, of generating money for these people. Whether you give these people, jobs to do, where in their extra time they can earn that money. There's something about earning money as a human being that it gives you worth. It gives you self-worth. Just being given stuff. I mean, it's like I said, I've been there, and it hurts your self-worth a little bit. So I think overall, the welfare system has probably been an overall net negative on families and incomes and our self-worth, our motivation. It's kind of been a net negative, I think. Like I said, it helped me out a lot. It helped out members of my family I know a lot. But I also know of people that have been on it forever with no desire to change or get better, and purposely don't care about getting a job or this or that because they know they're fine. And in fact, purposely not getting a job because they know that if they get too much money, then they'll lose all their benefits. And then they end up working twice as much, 3 times as much as they were before, and getting no extra money for it. So, like I said, it's kind of it's a rough program. So I guess to kind of summarize, changes to SNAP. Very strict on what you can buy. Very, very strict. Fresh fruits, vegetables, meats. Really keep it core stuff. Healthy foods, nutrient-dense foods that are healthy. That should be key. You shouldn't be able to go to the store, and you shouldn't be able to buy whatever you want with $1,000 a month in grocery money, and buy filet mignon and all this other kind of stuff when people can't, and people who are working hard don't get any help. They're over there buying, off-brand everything, the crappiest cut of meat and all this stuff just to survive. And you're over here like, oh, buy me the filet mignon. I'm doing all this stuff. And like I said, I was guilty of doing that kind of stuff. I'm not going to say I wasn't. But the fact of the matter is, it shouldn't be able to happen. And I was fully on board that if they were to cut that off as a possibility, I would have 100% agreed with it. I had no problem with it. That's the thing too. I never felt entitled to it. I never ever felt like that's my money. I deserve that money. I don't deserve that money. That's a forcibly taken gift from the taxpayers, right? Like that's not anything I'm entitled to at all. What did I do to earn that? What did I do to deserve that? Nothing. But that's another, maybe that's the fourth thing that the problem with SNAP is that it gives you a sense of entitlement when there should be none. There should be none at all in that situation, but you see it. The very fact that you're going to go rob, you're talking about getting together a band of people and going to rob Walmart for groceries. There's a sense of entitlement there. You feel entitled to that money when you shouldn't be. If it's not there, like I said, it sucks. You got to hit up the food bank during this temporary shutdown, yell at your congressman or whatever to say, open up the government because this is crap, and it is. We should not be running our government this way. It's a freaking nightmare. Our politics is a nightmare right now. But yeah, go do those things. Don't go rob a store. That's insane. So that's another big thing. The entitlement mentality that we have in this country now is crazy, and this kind of stuff just drives it. But yeah, so I guess, like I said, to recap, strict rules on what you can eat, what you can buy with your money. It's a taxpayer money. They shouldn't be subsidizing your unhealthy diets that then cause you to go to the hospital more, which they're also subsidizing your health care. It's insane. Two, what was the other one? The disincentivizing. The disincentivizing people from bettering themselves has got to stop. We have got to find a better way to move people off of welfare systems while maintaining their support to where basically the idea is you don't want to disincentivize progress. You don't want to disincentivize them bettering themselves. So you've got to figure out a program that doesn't penalize them for doing better. That's number two. On number three, the whole system altogether is rotten, in my opinion. This is stuff that should be handled at the local community levels, and if not, maybe international or national charities, churches, food banks, community centers, whatever. But that's part of the reason why we're suffering the way we're suffering now. If you notice that people don't spend time with each other, we don't ask each other for things anymore. Like, we're so isolated now. The government is your source for everything. Like, it's just dangerous. Like, there's nothing more beautiful than a community member giving to another community member than going to a church and then being like, here, we want to help you, we want to give. It helps strengthen communities and keep you cohesive. It's extremely important. And government getting involved in this corrupts it. It corrupts it and it ruins it. And not only that, it gives the government control over you. And that's number three. That you are now beholden to the government. Now it's a threat. Well, if this person gets elected, they're going to take all your food from you. That's a problem. That should never even be an issue. You should never be worried about that because you shouldn't be getting all your support from the government like that. It's extremely dangerous and allows politicians to manipulate people to get votes by promising, if you elect us, we'll make sure this keeps happening, or we'll add even more money to you. We'll help you even more. It's bribing, it's manipulation, and it's terrible to give the government that kind of power. They will abuse it, period. And it will be to the detriment of the average person, without fail. And four, like I said, the lack of, when you lose, like I said, you lose that self-worth. You lose that, I worked for that, this is mine, the proudness, you lose all that. And it hurts. Like I said, when I had to have those people walk by me and be like, oh, look at the welfare people out shopping. And it's like, oh man, that just hurt, And the entitlement, the sense of entitlement. God, the sense of entitlement ruins people, ruins you. Yeah.